This is your weekend market review for Saturday, August 26, 2023. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market review for Saturday, August 26th, 2023. Another amazing week trading in the market. We expected choppiness, volatility. As we said, guess what? We got a lot of what we expected. Now, going into next week, be mentally prepared. There's a lot of data. Last week was a very light data week. And as we talked about, going to the Jackson Hole meeting, NVDA could be, we expected the counter move up. We got some up, we got some down, we got some chop. Now, going into Labor Day weekend coming up, the following weekend, I'm expecting probably some more chop. Now, I would not be surprised if we did get some retests on certain names, certain things popped, certain things flopped, but overall, it's going to be a trader's market. So I ask, if you're making money, you're doing really well, take some time to breathe in some humility and remember that you're not always going to be right. This is a probability-based game, and just because you've been winning last week, last month, it feels like every time you're only as good as your next trade. So I try to plant that seed mentally. Hey, next week could be more difficult in the sense that there's a lot of data. We don't know, we're kind of in this flatlining situation where there's certain things that are holding up decently well, and there's certain things that are just going nowhere fast. And so it leads me to believe new money, which typically comes in during Labor Day, they say selling may and go away. Well, they go away until now. That new money can come in and it can create a pop, and then after that, it fills the void if it's going to be going lower, which in my opinion, I think we will. So if you're new to the channel, please check out the Discord room. I appreciate all the love, support. Again, generous donations. You guys are the best. Again, the student is ready to teach your peers. There's nothing expected, but if you're doing really well and you want to show some appreciation, I appreciate it. And it also gives me reference of who's working on things. And if you ever have any questions, again, schedule a Calendly. Let's take 30 minutes. Let's chat. Let me see how I can help you. So always here to help. Fed Watch tool. This is starting to drop. And now this is the thing. If the market starts to weaken, what you're going to see in the subsequent meetings, right? Subsequent meetings like following later in the year. Where is that tool? Come on, let me get to the top. You're going to start seeing the odds potentially of cuts coming. Now, I think the first cut, if there was going to be one, I think maybe March. Could be wrong here. I apologize. No, we're still not there yet. Maybe it was May, June, but it doesn't matter. Use this tool and watch and see what happens as the market starts to weaken. So Bitcoin, no, I don't want to upgrade. As we talked about, needs to hold this area in the 25,000 area. So far, so good. Oil, not surprised, holding, but chopping its way lower. I think in time, this level is going to be massive resistance. Do I expect higher oil, lower oil? I've said this a million times. I think oil, we talk about rallying, hits resistance. There'll probably be another OPEC cut at some point because they're really trying to keep price up. But demand destruction is real. And so you will get a smash at some point. Just be in mind. Keep that in mind. So I don't see oil going back to negative futures prices, but also don't see it going higher. You might probably get a 50 handle at some point. Natural gas, it's not even worth talking about. I think it's going to be stuck in this range. Again, we like commodities when the Feds pivot. There's no pivot. So there's no reason to buy commodities. They're just going to be choppy. Dollar, holding up really well. I thought we might pull back. And again, this is where it happens. You can be wrong. Higher highs, higher lows. Next resistance coming in pretty quick at 29. Just keep an eye on it. Again, I don't care so much about the dollar price. I just care about the volatility in the dollar. So far, it's acting well. And again, all this stuff about bricks and the end of the dollar, I've said this, go back for years, that I thought the last move in the dollar before the destruction would be an up move. And then unloads. That's what usually happens. Remember, in a big potential topping situation, people think the dollar is really peaking. I think it squeezes first before it gets dumped. TLT, a lot of folks did pretty well buying it down here in the low end of range. I think we're going to be stuck, and I've said this a dozen times, probably every video. There will be retests at some point, the eventual bottom. I thought this was going to hold here. Again, being wrong, extreme, a little more gapish. Do I expect it to get over the 20-day? I mean, it's possible. I could see 97 to 99 if things really get hairy near term. But in my opinion, I think bonds are kind of, they're going to be hard. get in at the lows and just be extremely patient. If you're expecting to get rich on bonds real quick, I don't think that's going to happen. VIX, look what happened, smash. Again, some reason, somehow, I think we're going to get down to this 14, 15 range at some point, naturally. VIVIX, we said it wasn't acting well, right? Look at this thing, right back down into the support zone. It's showing you something. SPY held up pretty good. Again, we hedged some of our shorts with some longs. We never really touched the 20-day. We did on the ES futures, but I wouldn't be surprised if we rally back and touch this at some point. We could even break above it for a day and then come back down. Again, watch previous videos if you're confused why the 20-day matters. It's usually the supporting moving average in a bigger trend. And now that it's currently down, just like here on the Qs, I still think we could get back to 370 maybe channel highs somehow. I don't know how the hell they'd get up there. Maybe it's, again, later in the week we have Broadcom. Maybe somehow I don't know. We'll see. IWM lagging. This is where, again, I think we will be bearish in time. But it's not a straight line move. Like, look at this. IWM has gone from 198 down to 182. Do the math, right? That's almost 10%. Don't be surprised if it rallies some. If the market rallies, that's when, again, you re-short. Remember, now we're in the hedge mode. Hedge mode. Why does it do that every time? DIA, we talked about it failing up here. Cha-ching. Near term, again, I think these things will chop. Gold, a lot of people keep asking when to buy it. It's the Fed pivot. It's dead money. Now, we talked about it failing. Again, we told you last October you could play it down here as a buy. Remember with that Fed meeting? Now I think you just let it roll. I think this thing could go sideways, could go down, it could go up, but I think it's one of those things where I think you just let it be. Let it come to you. Silver popped up, getting stuck here at resistance. GDX, again, it's hard to really trust metals when the miners have no follow-through. They just look ugly. You determine what you believe, but it seems evidence-based that oversold rally. These things look like shiitake mushrooms. They're coming back down. What level? I don't know, but I do know the best time to buy miners is when the Feds pivot and miners get absolutely blasted beforehand. Watch previous videos. I've talked about. Go check the monthly. Oh, you can get ugly. AG, sticking around, AEM. All these names. We talked about they probably had some oversold rallies, like compressing down here, a little pop, 20-day. Could they go higher? I don't know. Newmont, we talked about it could be a buy down here around 38. I mean, you got $1 and change. You see my point here? I don't know. And I don't really like trying to project the miners right now because, again, I feel like I'm flipping coins. Like they don't have the unlimited upside that I'd be looking for a reason to buy them. So at this point, rather leave them alone. Taiwan Semi, again, this is why we think tech could be bouncing a little bit. Talked about holding the 200-day, popped up on NVIDIA earnings. If I really wanted to confuse bulls and bears, again, in tech, I chop it around and drag it higher near term. Micron, piece of talked about it, just chopping around. They all look similar. AMD, we did put out an alert and told people, we like this down here. Look at today's action. I would watch the 100 area. Nice little close. NVIDIA, Kramer gave it the kiss of the death for day, so it pulls back. I mean, it's hard to be extremely bullish long term, right? But it's hard to be extremely bearish near term, in my opinion, too, because the upgrades, the pumping of this probably come in. And if we hold this 450, even the 20-day, I feel like it's going to have some sort of higher low. Maybe 482. Do we have to get channel high? That would be freaking bonkers. Intel, I mean, all these names look very similar. Just chopping. SMH, SME. We talked about hitting the 155 area. Got it. Now what? I mean, we filled the gap. Again, I expect chop. I wouldn't get too excited yet, but in time, I think you will go lower. So if you want to disappear for a week or two, go on vacation with the tight stuff, with defined risk, and if you're short near the top, then I get it. Adobe, chopping. Apple, we talked about it getting below the 100-day. Oversold would rally. Now look, you're getting back up here, 20-day. I mean, maybe even 183. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't look terrible. If I was a bull, and if I'm a bear, I'm like, all right, just let it come a little higher. Let it come on up. Amazon, here's the one we shorted in the 140s, holding on the 50-day. Let this just chop out. I mean, chop is so hard. Pretend this is a 10-minute chart. You wouldn't give two craps. Why do you get so excited about daily? If anything, if you know something's not going to move anywhere in the near term, and it's going to be choppy and sloppy, enjoy your day. That is the advantage of swing trading. Here you go. CRM, we think it goes lower. CEO selling unlimited shares. Doesn't matter. It's a matter of time. Guggenheim, nice little fake out, breakout. Again, if it could chop up here, it's just patience. If you're buying this month's options, good luck. Double bottom near term with Meta. I wouldn't be surprised if it came back to the 20-day, the 50-day again. Again, play games. The more games, the more that more people get confused. And then when we drop, they won't believe it. I'm telling you, That is the goal of the market makers, to take the most money from the most amount of people. Microsoft, this looks like absolute trash. Man, if it hits the 50-day, hit me up. Jay Solstice, I know you're listening. NDAQ, talked about this. I mean, it's going to go lower in time. The NASDAQ composite as a whole exchange, we know tech is not the future of trading. Look at it, it's just not acting like it. And so here you go, bouncing up. We said the 100-day. I mean, keep an eye on it. MicroStrategy, if Bitcoin holds, right, it makes sense at the 100-day. You get a pop up to what, 20-day, 50-day, easily. Netflix, a lot of tech looks the same to me. Holding higher lows or retesting lows and holding. And again, chop is good. Roblox, we talked about once they started covering shorts, this thing could probably bottom. I mean, I have to put this back on the list. I got stopped out for a small loss because I was getting, like, there's better places to put money. But I mean, it looks like it's got a couple points to rally. It's starting to compress down here after a big gap down continuation. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, I think there's a 10% move in it up. That's not bad. Now, point-wise, not impressive, but, you know. Tesla, we said the 240s was coming. You got up around it. Now it's chopping. The more it holds up, the more likely it could break out over the 20-day as a trap. Just keep that in mind. Where would that trap take you to? I mean, just know your support resistance, 240s to low 250s. Again, I'm not bullish, but I know how this acts. I know how to trap people. X, talk about getting bought out, holding up here. We'll see what happens. Again, materials is the next bull market. I've told you guys this a billion times. Nucor, 20, 50-day. But again, they'll beat these things before the Fed pivot. Just trust it. Caterpillar is another one, just can't get any legs. I mean, we talked about shorting up here. So far, so good, just chopping. VALE, holding around here, maybe the 20-day. Let me look where it lines up with some support. Arrow, copper, we talked about this being just popping off the 100-day, get to the 20, 50-day. Now it's chopping under it, just chilling out. CCJ, again, got to give it credit. Holding up really well. Man, maybe we're going to get after this bigger trend line up here. I don't know. You can draw this in multiple ways. But, I mean, it's one of those names where I don't know if I'd be shorting this. Ag names got dropped, got dumped like we thought. They'd hit resistance. And we like these names. Let them come in. Just let them come in. Don't feel like you need to do anything. Mosaic, same thing. And we talked about maybe this held the trend line, could have a little pop near term. Looking like it. NTR, same kind of action. These all have pulled back at support. If they need a pop, they need a pop. The market doesn't look terrible at the moment for a couple days. AA, this thing just cannot go anywhere. And again, financials. If financials are going to chop and bounce, they're holding up after oversold, right? 20-day, the market's not going to dump. JP Morgan, a lot of these names look like they're oversold, and they're just going to chop around or pop. JP Morgan looks the same. Morgan Stanley's been absolutely blasted, right? All right, getting tight down here. Goldman Sachs, same thing. Hits our trend line, right? Been blasted. I mean, I don't know, 360s down to 320, but look at the trend line. I mean, there's an uptrade here, y'all. KRE goes from 49 down to 43. Again, you do the math. It's about 15% at the 100-day. These things don't look that bad. If they hold up, then they're not telling you the market's not going to dump. XBI, this thing has been taken to the woodshed, right? All right, it's making higher lows. Don't be surprised if it gets up into the 80 range. That would make sense to me. Solar screamed like, I hate solar, right? But what do we say? At some point, this support area could hold, especially after you go from 74 down to 56 very quickly. Like, there feels like there's counter moves coming in these solar names. ENPH, man, some of these names are just so garbage. Yeah, I mean, they're due to bounce. I mean, just good luck. How much? We'll see. Sedge, these are all up on Friday. First Solar, I mean, we talked about it. Could it hold down here? Let me just draw a box. I mean, make it real visual here. So think that the gap is pretty important. I mean, we're a little below. Let me now expand it to what looks like the range is. It's probably due to chop. That's all I would say at worst. And it could bounce. It could bounce because it is oversold. USO, oil, chopping around. Interesting day, right? UNG going nowhere fast, blah, 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 blah. XOP. Now, we talked about shorting potentially in the 150s, but if the market holds up, this could get choppy, right? So get choppy. This is known for chop tops. Chop tops. Chop tops. Got it? Get it? Good. Whew. All right, ExxonMobil, another one that we liked shorting up in the 116s, then it hit range lows many times. Now bouncing. Again, I think these names are a little hard to trade in the sense that they're not going to melt down just yet. Choppiness, same thing. Oxy. I mean, all these names, like them when the market absolutely dumps. But near term, I think they have more room to the downside, but they could be choppy. Same thing, PXD holding up. EQT hits 44 like we thought it could. Now it's under the 20-day. I mean, this doesn't really look that good. It looks like it's sideways until it breaks. Last but not least, Flex LNG holding up. Again, we like this name because I think we'll be exporters of natural gas in time. Keyword in time. Let these come down. Has a great dividend yield. All right, if you have any questions, please reach out. Check out the link to the Discord room. Check out the website, thetradingagent.com. I didn't even go through that. I didn't even do my whole spiel at the beginning where you check out YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, website, all that stuff. Please get involved. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. This is a game where, again, you can't talk your way through and follow. I mean, you can try to follow me on every trade, but eventually you are the one hitting enter. You need to figure out the psychology of why you do things. Sometimes you might have your own destructive tendencies. Maybe you can't follow your own rules. Let me help you. Reach out. I'm here to help. Check out the Calendly link. Let me know how I can help. And if you're doing anything real estate related, please let me know. Again, I can get a referral and help you find an amazing agent in your area. And then you get 2 agents for the price of 1. And I'm telling you, this market's not going to be easy. Finding deals is going to be the key because you don't want to overpay. You might want to wait for interest rates to come down if there is a market scare and the bond market screams higher. All these things we should talk about if you're looking to buy or sell, because if you don't do your due diligence, don't be surprised if you're not happy with the process. And again, I would love to find you an agent. If you trust me in trading, trust me with your real estate help. If you trust me in anything, again, I'm here to help. That's my goal. Again, in an abundant universe with no lack, trust me. Again, give to get. That's how it works. All right. Holler at your boy. Have an amazing weekend. I will see you shortly.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.